Well, hello friends, and as you can see, the snowdrops in the garden have now gone over. We've just got a few little flowers left, but you can see just how massive the clumps are. So today I'm going to start dividing up the snowdrops. As you can see, I've got a tub of the snowdrops that I've dug up. I've actually dug these from the ditch down at the bottom of the garden, where there is a lot of leaf mould, so they were quite easy to dig up. But this is going to be the first job that I've done in the potting shed, the first proper gardening job. And I cannot tell you how nice it is to be in here, because although the temperature is quite mild, it's very windy out there. I would normally be standing outside shivering while I'm dividing these, but now I've got some lovely shelter. So let's get on with it. Just had a little bit of a shock here. Gone to pick out one of the clumps of snowdrops, and I found that there's quite a big lump of barbed wire there, which would have been very nasty if I'd caught hold of that. So let's take that out right away. I'm just shaking off some of the leaf mould, the soil that's around the bottom of the roots. I've also got a little tray here to collect up little wormies or anything else that's inside, because they're still quite slow at the moment. It's still cold enough for them not to be moving around much, so they can all go in there and they can go back in the garden in a minute. This is just two of the clumps that I've got from the bottom of the garden, from the ditch. As you can see, there are absolutely tons of bulbs there, so there are actually going to be quite a lot which I'll be able to divide up, and I'm going to plant some of these out at the front of the house. Now I'm mixing up the leaf mould that was around the bottom of the bulbs with a little bit of old compost that I've been drying in the greenhouse, and also quite a lot of what I always call spare earth. I think it's just earth that I've knocked out of pots. It's not particularly nutritious. It's been feeding plants for a year or two, but it'll certainly be good enough to go into plant pots just until I'm able to plant the bulbs out in the garden again, or pass them on to somebody else, because there's certainly plenty here. It's always suggested that you transplant snowdrops when they're what they call in the green, which means that the flowers have gone over but the leaf is still there. Yet other people say that it really doesn't matter, that you can dig them up at any time, but I find it easiest because A, I can see actually where they are, and B, you've got something to get hold of. And these are the pots that I'm going to use. You actually get 12 for £1, so that's less than 10 pence a pot. They're very thin, they're very lightweight, but I like the square ones because they actually stack more easily. They actually fit into plant trays much more conveniently. It's really blowing a gale outside now. I'm so glad I'm inside. So let's just put an inch or two of soil in the bottom. This mixture of leaf mould and spare soil, and then we'll divide up bulbs. I'm pulling them apart into clumps of, I would say, about half a dozen bulbs each. That's what I planted out last year, and they certainly flowered very well this year. So make sure you get all the roots in. Now I'm just packing soil around the roots. Don't need to be too meticulous. Don't pack them in too tightly. Nothing likes to be packed too tight. There we are. That's easy enough to do. They look a bit floppy, but they'll be absolutely fine. I'll give those a good soaking. One thing I would suggest is that if you can see the base of the bulb is white and it goes up to the greener part, try and bury the bulbs at the same level as they were in the soil, so that the white part is covered and you've only got really the green showing. That ensures that they're more or less at the same depth, and they like that. You can just see Mr. Worm is going for a little stroll here. It's always nice to have company. I've got a bird singing outside, and I've got a couple of worms having a wander inside. In fact, one's already making off over the side of the pot there. Look at that. I'll take you back to the garden soon. I tend to wear gloves when I'm doing the rougher work in the garden, but When I'm potting or dividing up or pricking out seedlings, I tend not to wear my gloves. You really do need to be able to feel what you're doing. You need the sensitivity of your fingertips. So no gloves for this job. Just gently push the soil down around the bulbs. See, it doesn't need to be too firm. Friends, I am in heaven. I am warm, I am dry, and I'm potting up plants. While I'm just mixing up this earth, I wanted to make the point that whenever you're transplanting a plant, whenever you're moving it from one place to another, try to always move a little bit of the soil that surrounds it with it, because you then have an inoculation of all the bacteria that have helped that particular plant to grow. And the bacteria are very specific. If you can just give them a little bit of the soil they're used to, even though you think you're being very kind, when you give it lots of new fresh soil, a little bit of the old soil, that which is round the roots, leave a little bit, or just add a bit of the soil to the soil mix, and you will find that your plants will get away much faster than if you put them into brand new soil. Mr. Fezzy out on the lawn having something to eat. Well, if you've got odd little bulbs that have just fallen away from the main clump, that's all right, just gather them together. Half a dozen bulbs or so. There you are. There's some loose ones, some small ones. Just gather them up. They'll do just as well. We can be a little bit precious about how we move plants and how we garden in general. My philosophy is always give it a go. You'll be surprised at what succeeds. Right, well, my camera is telling me that my battery is low. I just wanted to mention one more thing. If you remember, I said that I use what I call spare soil, which is just soil that's knocked out of old pots. It's perfectly good, but just have one proviso. Make sure that there are no vine-weedable grubs in it, because they will chomp their way through the roots of anything, and you will not be happy. In fact, you'll be cursing. So just a little check. And on cue, there is a vine-weevil grub. You can see exactly what they look like. So little so-and-so, you won't be going in that pot. Just little white grubs, but they can be absolutely devastating. Beware. Well, there we are, 14 pots out of just 2 clumps, which I think is a very respectable haul. They're going to be watered now, and then I'll just leave them in a shady, fairly sheltered place. And one last thing I would say is that if any of my friends that live locally would like a pot or two, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to share them with you.